Shir and Gemara Mציעא Perek Yoseches Ohomnim Daf Pei Yomad Beis. We're starting a new Mishnah, continuation from the previous Shir, the introduction. So this is Shir number 2, who talks about different responsibilities of different Shoimrim. This Mishnah is divided into 6 halachas, and each halacha is divided to sub-halachas. Some of them is going to be talked in the Mishnah, and some of them are going to be talked in the Gemara, and some of them are just learning out from the Rashi. So let's start. Kol o umnim. All the umnim. So what's umnim? We already learned in the beginning of the perek, but here is a little bit different. So Rashi says, we're going to go right away to look at the Helik Rashi. Kablonim amekablim aleim. People who do jobs and they take upon themselves to do work in their own houses. So all those people who take work in their own houses, for example, a tailor, somebody who fixes watches, somebody who fixes computers, somebody, a mechanic who fixes a car, all those people who take the job into their own houses. So says the Helik Mishnah, Shomer Socher. They are considered to be a Shomer Socher, that if something happened, if a Gneva V'Aveda happened, they are responsible to pay. Why? What makes them a Shomer Socher? What is the benefit that they're getting? So Rashi right away clarifies Shomer Socher, Leischai B'Gneva V'Aveda, to be Chai B'Gneva V'Aveda, V'Taime, and the reason for that is Mefarish B'Gemara. The Gemara is going to explain. The Gemara goes back and forth till the Gemara comes with the perfect explanation. Next halacha. This halacha is continuing the first halacha. Vekulon, and all those who monim, she'amu, who they say, toiles sheloch ve'avemois, they say, come pick up your stuff and also bring money. So the moment they say those words, says the Mishnah, they are considered a shomer chinam. From that moment on, till the person comes to pick up stuff. Let's look at Rashi. V'kulam she'amu toiles sheloch, shekvar gemarti, because I already finished to do the job. And when you come and pick up your stuff, Ovemois, bring money. So therefore, I'm a shomer chinam. She'eni me'akvoi letoisei l'schori, because I'm not holding the item for my money, as we're going to see later on in Gemara is going to elaborate a little bit more on that. Hare yume'at shomer chinam is from now on, from the moment he said it, is considered a shomer chinam. The Gemara later on is going to have other examples. What happens if he says the opposite? If the guy says, bring money and come pick up your stuff. What happened if he says, I finished? He didn't elaborate anything about money. He didn't say a word about money. So the Gemara is going to talk about it. So this concludes the first 2 halachas of the Mishnah. Now the Mishnah goes to 2 more halachas. Shmoir li ve'eshmor loch. Reuven says to Shimon, please watch an item for me, and in return, I'm going to watch something for you. Now, the Gemara is going to explain later on, is it mean I'm going to watch something for you now, or I'm going to watch something for you later on, so we're not going to go into it. So the Mishnah says, what's the din? He's a shomer socher. Why is he a shomer socher? Because they're both watching for each other, so it's a benefit. Second halacha, Shmoir li ve'omer li anach lefanai. What about if Reuven told Shimon, can you watch something for me? And the guy tells them back, the Omalei, and the guy tells them back, Anach lefonai, put it in front of me. Put it in front of me. So then the din is a shomer chinam. Why is he a shomer chinam? Because he's not getting any benefit. But the words Anach lefonai, he accepted responsibility also. The Gemara is going to elaborate also, bringing another 2 examples, as we're going to see in the Gemara. Now we're going to go to the 5th halacha. The 5th halacha is a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Tanakam. Now we all know generally that when you have a mashkin, this is for later on. Ilvo al mashkin. Reuven lends money to Shimon, or lends an item to Shimon. And Shimon gave him a mashkin, a collateral. So shomer socher, the malve Reuven is going to be a shomer socher on the mashkin. Why is he going to be a shomer socher? What benefit, what payment does Reuven get, the malve gets from the item that it was given? So Rashi says, schar mitzvah. What is schar mitzvah? Oh, ilvo, says Rashi, ilvo mois el mashken. He lends him money and he gave him a mashken. Shem Socher says Rashi, schar mitzvah. It's a reward of the mitzvah. The Gemara is going to elaborate exactly what is the reward, what is the gashmisdik reward of the mitzvah. Right now we're just learning simple, that he did a mitzvah, he lent the money, it's a mitzvah to lend money. It says in the pasuk, im kesef tal ve'sami, and when the Gemara learns that im means that you must, not if, it means when, you have to lend someone money, so therefore he's doing a mitzvah, so the reward of the mitzvah makes him a Shem Yosef. Comes Rabbi Yehuda, back to the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, no. Ilvo mois shemechinam. When you lend someone money, and he gave you a mashken on it, he's a shemechinam. Ilvo peiro is Shem Yosef. But if you lend someone fruits, and he gave you a mashken for it, then he's a Shem Yosef. What's the difference between fruits and money? So Rashi right away explained. Ilvo mois shemechinam. Why? The less Rabbi Yehuda does not hold schar mitzvah, the reward of a mitzvah le'inyan dina regarding this din to make him a Shem Yosef. And as we're going to see in the Gemara later on, the Gemara is going to explain it a little bit more. Ilvo peiro is Shem Yosef. But if he lends a fruit, he is a Shem Yosef. Why? What's the benefit that he gets? The derech peiro is la'arkiv. Because the way of fruits is to get spoiled. So when I lend you fruits, you're going to give me back new fruits. So that's a gashmisdik benefit. That because of the gashmisdik benefit, then he gets the reward that makes him a Shem Yosef. So this is the fifth halacha, which is a machlekes. Now the Gemara is going to go to the sixth halacha. We're going to give a little bit of introduction. We learned before in Aftayin Tes Amud Aleph that there is a concept called mashkanta de surah. In the city surah, they made an establishment of a mashkin. What does that mean? Usually, when Reuven lends money to Shimon, and Shimon gives him a mashkin, Reuven, the malve, is not allowed to use the mashkin. Why not? Because it's ribis, it's interest. You're not allowed to benefit out of it. Because in the long run, when Shimon is going to give him back his money, not only he gave him back his money, he also benefit out of the use of the mashkin. So you're not allowed. Came Chachomim and made a takana that sometimes you could use the mashkin. When is it? If you make a contract, a clear contract, then in contract says like this. Reuven gives him $100. Shimon gives him a cell phone as a mashkin. Now, Reuven is going to use the cell phone, let's say, for 10 days. And every day they're going to make a price. And every day of use of the cell phone, it's going to be worth $10. So Reuven is going to use the cell phone for 10 days. And every day deducts $10. So therefore, in the end of 10 days, Shimon owes Reuven no money because he deducted the use of the cell phone. And therefore, we all benefit out of that. So that's called mashkanta de surah. Comes Abba Shaul and he says that by a poor man that borrows money and he gives a mashkin, the halacha is a little bit different. Usually, when you use a mashkin, when the malva uses a mashkin, he needs to write a contract. By a poor man, it's a little bit different. Let's see it from inside. Abba Shaul says like this: Rashai Odom, a person is allowed to do what? Le'askir mashkoinoi sheloni, to rent out a mashkin of a poor person, to rent out to other people. He's allowed to rent it out to other people. For what purpose? Liois poisek ve'oi lecholov, to constantly make up money back on the item. So he's going to deduct. It's similar to mashkanta de surah. The only two differences that we have: number one, you're allowed to use it, you're allowed to do it even without permission. You don't have to ask the poor person. Another detail, as we're going to see in the Rashi, that the malva is only allowed to rent it out to other people, not to himself. Because if he's going to do it to himself, he might cheat. Let's say instead of saying that every day to use it is $10, he's going to say every 2 days to use it is $10. So he's going to benefit, he's going to drag it out for himself to use it. So you're not allowed. Why are we allowed to do that without permission? So the Mishnah concludes, Mitnei shu kemei shiva veider, because it's considered as returning a lost object. What does that mean? Without you doing it, the poor man will never be able to pay the loan, and he will never be able to get his item back. So therefore, we are giving him permission to do it even without asking the poor man. Let's see the Rashi. Mutar odom leaskir, says the Hiliki Rashi, leacherim, to other people. Mashkoino sheloni shebeyodoi, a mashkin of a poor person that he has, yospoisek olov to make on it what schar payment, ve'oilech to amit it constantly, upoiches melachoy, and deducts from the loan. The Gemara is going to later on elaborate and explain which mashkin. We are allowed to rent out any mashkin that a poor person has, a car, a computer, shovels. What is it? What is the Gemara? The Gemara is going to explain it, and the Gemara is going to give us the details. Thank you for listening.